Hey guys, I'm Angela and welcome back to Hobby Night. This week, we're taking a look at some ready-made bases by Gamer's Grass. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody that the hobby videos are moving to Friday, and there will be one this Friday where I'll be painting up a brand new Stormcast Eternal from the new Dominion box set, and I'm really excited about it. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at those bases.
What are we doing here, Angela?
Well, Chaos Cultist, I wanted to come to Games of Berkeley, my friendly local game store, to pick up some ready-made bases by Gamer's Grass because I have been building up the models from the new Dominion box set. And I got to the grots and I was like, wow, there are a lot of these. I don't necessarily want to spend my time basing them all. So I figured, why not pick up some of the Gamer's Grass ready-made bases, make my life a lot easier, and get them done really quickly. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they have. So I've made it to Games of Berkeley's basing section, and we're here to talk about the Gamer's Grass products, but before we do that, I want to talk briefly about the Secret Weapon Miniatures bases, because this is another brand that does some pre-made bases, and I did consider them for this project. However, these are resin, and I'm not a huge fan of working with resin bases. They do also require a little bit of extra work because you do need to paint them. There are, however, some really cool designs that you don't kind of see other places. Like this was an alien invasion base. There's some really cool, whoa, I'm totally destroying the packaging. There's some really cool like skull bases, which you guys have probably seen me use before on, say, the Chaos Demons. Like when I did the Corn Demon, I used it. I actually used the skull bases on the Sister of Battle recently for her, and that was really cool. So I really like them, but they do require a bit of extra work. So let's go ahead and talk about Gamer's Grass then. We are not here necessarily for the tufts, but I want to talk about them because I use them all the time when I do traditional basing, and they're my preferred, I think, tuft of grass of the ones that I've used so far. And the reason that I like them is a couple of things. One, they make this line that is these wild shapes is what they call them. And basically they're a little bit more organic and they fit around the boots and like feet of models a lot easier. They go around structures because they're a little bit rounded. You don't have to do as much work to trim them and make them fit. And they can kind of blend into each other a bit more. So if you're wanting to do, say, like a larger patch of taller grass and you're not wanting to really build up loose like fibers and stuff for grasses, you can use these, get them in a big clump, and they kind of fit together and look a little bit more like a large patch of grass. They also make these awesome super tiny tufts, which I have not used a huge amount yet, but the few times that I have, they've been super beneficial because you can get them in between if you do end up having any gaps when you're like, especially mixing different types of tuft styles. Like, so if you're not just using Gamer Grass and say you're using Army Painter tufts, those ones almost all are round. This allows you to kind of fill in between them, add a little bit of variety, and they're also very short grasses. So if you're doing super tiny models, they work really well for that. And then of course, my favorite thing about the grasses are some of the alien colors. These things are by far the grasses that I go to the most often. Anytime I can use these bright, beautiful colors for these aliens grasses, I'm like, yes, let me do it. I just want to have all of the bright colors on all of my models. Like, I love contrast. These tend to go with them really well. I'm definitely going to plan some projects with some more alien grasses. But we're not here for any of these grasses, any of these tall shrubs, which I do also really like. It's another cool product of theirs. But we're not here for any of that. What we are here for are their ready-made bases, and that is these products here. So these are pre-done bases that use their tufts. They put like texture paints on there and everything. They use some sculpted rocks or other debris, depending on which one you get, to basically give you a pre-painted, already done base. And the reason that I wanted to grab these is because it saves so much time being able to use these, and they come in a variety of different styles. So like, if, for example, you were wanting to do something Badlands, like I just showed you with a nice red earth, say for Mechanicus or something like that, you've already got that done, they're ready to go. They also do like highlands, there's some arid plains, there's some winter tough ones. So like for all you Space Wolf fans and stuff out there, they make some really gorgeous pre-done winter like bases. Oh, actually we have some. So these are the winter bases. I love them. They're sort of sparse. It's like the winter is like fading a little bit, but they're still in there. I think it's a really lush, gorgeous base, and it requires no work because they're already done for you, and you can just mount your model onto them. So I'm gonna look through these. I think, ooh, yes, this is the one that I was hoping to get. So these are the temple bases, and I am hoping to get these for my Hobgrots because if you've looked at a number of the orcs that I've painted on the channel so far, specifically from the Headcrackers Mad Mob, as well as some of the other orcs that I've done, they all come with a few of sculpted bases that tend to have a bit of either cobblestone or just like stone sticking out of dirt. And I figured this would be a nice blend and work really well on my models to sort of bring them all together, make them cohesive, and still work and save myself time. So I'm gonna grab these, we're gonna head back to the hobby desk and get some Hobgrots mounted onto these ready-made bases.
Ah, yes. These would make fine additions to my forces of chaos here.
I'm ready.
Angelo, what the hell? You said we were just getting the bases.
Is that what I said? Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you're new here and you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. And if you've enjoyed this video specifically or hated it, let me know down in the comments and go ahead and hit the like or dislike button. But I also wanted to talk today about my Patreon, where if you want to see behind the scenes content, including photos and vlogs, as well as an opportunity to help contribute to a brand new series that will be happening on the channel sometime soon, where I am going to be building a brand new army. And my patrons are going to have an opportunity to help me choose which army, what colors to pick, and various other things to vote on. So if you're wanting to make sure to get in on that action, go ahead and check out the Patreon link down in the description below. And I believe voting for the new series will be coming up soon, possibly at the end of July. So if you're wanting to get in on the first of all of the polls and everything and really help me pick that army, make sure to go ahead and check out the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching. And now let's get back to the video. I've made it back home, and before we get started looking at the temple bases that we picked out and finding some good ones that we want to actually use, I wanted to show off a little bit of the actual tufts out of their packaging of the ones that I already own and stuff, because like I said, I really like these alien tufts. I think they are amazing. I use them all the time on a lot of my models when I'm doing bases that have like odd dirt textures and stuff like that. You see them actually on my Space Marines all the time. So I use them a lot. Actually, I should have, while I was there, I should have picked up some more of these teal ones because I'm almost out and this is what I use on the Hobby Nights. So I'll have to run back and get some more. But what I did grab while I was there is I got some of these tall shrubs that I talked about. I've used them a very small amount, but I really wanted to start using them some more. So I picked up another packaging of them. But what we're actually here to look at are some bases. And I have some of these ones that are actually meant for War Machine because I kind of really like the look of them. And I thought they would be kind of an interesting thing to maybe use either for some War Machine models, because I do have some. So if I ever end up building an army for that, I might use them for that. Or I was thinking maybe some D&D models. I know these are a little bit larger, but for some of the like bigger monster bases, I kind of like going oversized. So they're really cool. But let's talk about our temple bases that we're going to actually be using on our grots. Oops, I totally glared there. So I've got these. Let's get them out of this packaging so we can take a look and see which ones we want. Because the grots, what I've gone ahead and done is I've clipped off all of the sprues that were on the bottoms of their pegs. You can actually, here I have an unpainted one. So you see that the Dominion models all, let me get this to focus. There we go. So you see that all these Dominion models, they have these little rivets down at the bottom that go into the pegs, and I'm not gonna be using those because we're putting them on these bases. It's not really gonna make it easy to sit them there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off, and I wanna find some pretty flat bases from this grouping to work with. So looking at these, I'm not gonna be using these two, I don't think, because I think they are a little too uneven. Like I think if I had, I don't know, actually I may test some with these, but these are a little uneven. I'm not sure 100% if I'm gonna use these two. This one I definitely think I wanna use. This has a really nice flat edge. I think it'll be really nice. And I actually can even add, because of this little like divoted area there, I could put some additional tufts or add some additional texture paint to basically make it seem like it's more in line with the other ones if I wanted to add a little bit of more organic nature in there. So that's kind of cool. And that is the nice thing about these, is they're actually flexible. You can add more to them and change them up a little bit, even though they're pre-done. We could also, I do like this one. This one is really good as well. They've got some sticky stuff on the bottom. I'll show you. So I like this one because it's very flat again, but it has a little bit of that dirt and grass tufts in there, which I've used a little bit on the grots. You saw me use actually some gamer grass tufts on them. These ones specifically, it was these. And I think that will be kind of a nice blend. I actually think I used a mix of those as well as potentially these. So again, it's gonna blend, I think, really, really well, which is why I went with these bases. So yeah, I'm definitely going with those. I think I'm gonna go with this one as well. Ooh, and then this, because I've got 5 of them that we're gonna be doing. So I think it's gonna be these 5. We'll clean up the bottoms because as you see, they've got a little bit of sticky stuff on there. So we'll need to clean up those up a little bit. But I think those are the 5 that I'm going to be going with for the grots. So let's go ahead and grab them and start getting them based. Having chosen my 5 bases, it's now time to prep the grots for glue, and I'm going to be doing that by using a file on the bottom of their feet. This will allow me to clean up any excess primer or paint that might be on the bottom, as well as smooth down and flatten any extra plastic that might still be from us clipping them off of their sprues. This is going to be essential for making sure that they stand up upright and flat on the bases, so it's a really important step. Now it's time to actually glue them down, and for that I'm going to be using zap-a-gap, which is an all-purpose glue that will bond metal, plastic, and resin, so it'll be perfect for my needs here. Okay, their feet are cleaned up, and I'm ready to glue them down. But before I do that, I want to stick this little rod that the Citadel glue comes with into the zap-a-gap glue to give myself a bit more control, and this actually really does help, and I'm really glad that I did it because their feet are super tiny, and I was worried that with the zap-a-gap, because it has kind of a large cap, I was going to get glue all over the place. I've done this in the past with models, and I didn't want to fuss with it here. So this rod really gave me better control. I get the glue onto the bottom of the feet. We're gonna then get him onto the base very quickly, get him and hold him there for about 3 to 4 seconds so that the glue can bond the 2 pieces together. Then I'm gonna step away and let them settle for about 10 minutes once I've got all of the models glued down to their bases. Once I'm done with that, I was looking at them and going, you know, I could leave the dark brown coloring that Gamer's Grass provided on the pre-painted bases, but that doesn't really match what I've done with my other models in the army, so I'm going to use a bit of black paint and quickly rim them using black just to make them match the rest of the army. And here they are. I am incredibly pleased with how these grots turned out on these pre-made bases. I knew that getting the pre-made bases would save me a bunch of time. I knew that they could look really good because Gamer's Grass's bases are really cool. I like their tufts, I like a lot of their products, so when you have the pre-done model and everything, it was an easy thing for me to want to pick up and everything. But I especially love how this model blends with this base. It just looks so good. It's going to blend with, I think, really well with what I already have on a lot of my orc models that come with the pre-done bases that GW provides, because a lot of them have like stones or cobble kind of like near the edges or sticking up and everything. So it blends really well, and I'm just immensely pleased. I can't wait to be picking up more of these to get all 20 grots painted up and put onto these bases so that I just have this really cool looking unit. Honestly, my Orruk's army that I'm planning on just painting up just because I really like the models is turning into a really cool looking army so far that I'm really pleased to have, because not only can I potentially use it in Age of Sigmar with the 3rd edition being out and everything, but I can also use these guys for D&D, and I'm super hyped for that because they look perfect for it. Like, I am so excited to use them in D&D campaigns because I really like being in campaigns where it's kind of like, it's just very, you know, you're going up against orcs or goblins, or like you are just, I really like it, and I'm super excited to have these models done, and the Gamer's Grass bases made getting them done a lot faster. So I'm really pleased for them. I'm definitely gonna be picking up more. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also want to remind you that Even though I said at the beginning, I wanted to remind you one more time that the hobby videos will be moving to Friday going forward. There will be one this Friday, so make sure to check that out. I will be painting up one of the new Stormcast Eternal models from the Dominion box set, and I'm really hyped for it. But going forward, they're going to be on Fridays. So that has been it for me and everything. I wanted to give an extra special thanks to my patrons for supporting me and allowing me to make videos like this for you guys. And just thank you guys so much. I have been Angela. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, all of that jam, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.